Rwandan asylum scheme. The first removal flight is set to take off today. Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has said that the scheme will break the business models of people traffickers. But the Church of England leaders have described the plan as an immoral policy that shames Britain. OK, so Janet, where'd you stand on it?
Well, I don't want to be lectured on morality by either Prince Charles or the Church of England, but I must say I'm not very comfortable with it. It seems a blunt instrument, and I'm not quite sure it would work anyway, because all the signs are that people are desperate to come to this country by whatever means they can, and I'm not sure that putting them on a plane to Rwanda will stop the people who are profiting out of them getting in the boats in the Channel. Yeah. And when I look at deportations as a tactic, it's not worked on people who've served their criminal sentences either. I mean, the legal profession are the people who are going to profit out of this tactic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very uncomfortable with it, but I think you're right. The question you have to focus on is this going to work? You know, I mean, there was supposed to be, I think, in excess of 130 people on this flight, which is costing £500,000. At the moment, I think they've got 7, and that might well decrease before it actually goes. So you have to ask yourself, is this effective?
Yeah,
you know, first and foremost.
Yeah, in May, there was a flight to Jamaica that was returning people who'd served their sentences in this country, and there were supposed to be 100 people on that flight, and by the time it took off, there were only 7 on board. So already the legal profession are helping people not be deported for other reasons, and I think they'll do the same here. And it's not, you know, I just come back to the fact that putting people on a plane to another country seems a very strange way of stopping people in Calais and northern France profiting from putting them on a boat.
Well, yeah, and I mean, the thing is, once they get to Rwanda, they then have to apply for leave to stay in Rwanda, which might not be granted. So it's not as if that is even a permanent home. And I mean, if this is to address people traffickers don't care that, you know, that these individuals give them £5,000 and they might end up in Rwanda. I don't care. Give me your £5,000. And so if you've got desperate people, they're going to take the chances, aren't they? Because they're already taking their chances on the Channel, in getting through, on the journey.
For me, it's all very well for us to sit here and have a discussion and people at home to go, well, you know, we shouldn't be letting asylum seekers in and all of this, that and the other. The desperation, God help any of us if we end up living in the situations they've lived in with families. I would swim the Channel to make my family safe or to get away from war or war-torn areas. And I just think as humans, how can you turn those people away? You just
I think
can't.
The counter-argument is, though, that the NHS and housing, our services are so stretched when we can't even guarantee people a GP's appointment. We can't give a whole generation of young people affordable housing. I mean, I'm not saying this is a good enough reason, but that's what a lot of people will say.
I think you're right. And I mean, every country has its immigration policy. There's very few countries, if any, that have an open door, because of course you have to protect the citizens and the public services of the country that you're in. But, you know, is it these people's fault who are fleeing desperate situations, usually war-torn countries, or have we perhaps seen mismanagement of our public services over a long period of time? We can't get enough people to pick our fruit. We can't get enough people to work at every single bar and restaurant you go past. Hiring. We don't have enough social care workers. We don't have enough people to staff the NHS.
Now.
That's not an illegal immigrant's fault. Yeah, that's somebody here. What are you thinking about it, Brenda?
No, I'm fully agreeing with every single point that each one of you have made. It's a very sad state of affairs, but you know, this country is in a bit of a mess as it is anyway.
The bottom line is in the next couple of months we'll see whether this works or not, you know.
Well, I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah. Well, a government spokesman said on the issue, while we can still expect further legal challenges and last-minute claims, we have always maintained that everything we're doing is compliant with our national and international obligations. Well, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as they say.